Soldier Boy is one of the most demonized characters in the boys universe, but let's take a second and not rush to conclusions. You might be surprised to find he is actually an American hero.
That's right. We live in the United States, and within the United States judicial system, it is an innocent until proven guilty system. Is it really true that Soldier Boy is this pure evil, malicious, demonic character that he is portrayed, or is it really a complex series of misunderstandings that, when looked at in a very particular sequence through a very particular narrative lens, is that the only way we're able to see this perspective, this image of a man who is hell-bent on destruction? Let us know in the comments what you think about Soldier Boy before we get into this, and whether or not he really is as evil as we think, relative to Homelander maybe, because that's a good barometer, right? However evil you think Homelander is, let us know that, and then Soldier Boy relative to him. We're going to go in chronological order here through the crimes, supposedly, that our boy is accused of. The first one would be kind of a broad categorical sense: historical atrocities and government-sponsored violence. Okay, a quick little summary of his backstory is he lived in a home with a father where it was very difficult to live up to his expectations, and as a result of this, he ended up joining the military during World War II, and really trying to impress his father, he joined an experimental program in order to basically get the powers that he has. This is an early Vought experiment. It turned him into Soldier Boy, which then put him right into the covert ops pipeline, propaganda pipeline of the U.S. government. And he ended up committing a lot of different quote-unquote atrocities in the name of those covert ops.
Yeah, so there's many covert operations like killing criminals, maiming them with lethal force because they're part of either some drug cartel or just crime on the streets. But he also was contributing to brutalizing civil rights protests and massacring anti-war protesters. Listen, were we there? Your Honor,
No.
Your Honor, people of the court here, everyone in the jury, were you there? It's totally understandable that Soldier Boy committed these actions for the government when he's going after actually bad people. No one should ever be on the side of the cartel whenever Soldier Boy is going in there and taking out drug dealers with lethal force. Who's up here standing, or I'd love to see the defense counsel being like, excuse me, Your Honor, my client was criminally trafficking drugs in the country, and Soldier Boy took him out and broke his neck.
Right.
We got to do something about this. Like, shut up, sit down. I'm about to break your neck. So anybody that's committing a crime, now, if you have protesters committing a crime, that's still a crime. Soldier Boy's got to act. He's not just going to stand by and be like, okay, all right, I got to stand back. I got to stand by. Let these people do what they want. I'm just going to twiddle my thumbs. He's a hero. He has to do something. He has to protect the weak. He's not going to let these, rioters, these agitators roam free throughout the streets. He has got to do something. And I'm sorry if him doing something is a little more heavy-handed than you might like.
Well, that is true, and I think that a key part of this is, okay, a lot of Soldier Boy's actions during this time are, well, he's with a team called Payback, right? It's like a little vigilante team, a superhero team that's working covert ops for the government. There's a particular incident where they tie in Soldier Boy and his group of heroes called Payback into the Iran-Contra scandal, where the CIA is using trafficked cocaine to fund the Contras in Nicaragua, right, during the Cold War. And during this incident, because Soldier Boy and his team are so ill-trained, they're so improperly trained by the government has just been sending them in as basically blunt force weapons rather than precision tools, which is needed in a situation like this. It results in like 100-something CIA operatives for the United States dying. And that's not because Soldier Boy went on a rampage and just killed a bunch of CIA ops. No. It's because they were so poorly trained. So now take that idea, and that's a little bit later, by the way, in these covert ops. Take that and look backward now at these, 1963 Birmingham protests or the 1970 Kent State, like anti-Vietnam War protests or whatever, where Soldier Boy goes a little hard. It's like, think about what he's used to. He's been a superhero, like this ultra durable Superman-esque guy. He basically only hangs out with these super durable Kryptonian level durability individuals. So yeah, right. When he goes to disrupt these events that the government is basically plucking him from his soup isolation sphere and deploying him out into the public with regular human beings, yeah, I think he might end up going a little overboard. Not on purpose, but by accident. He has no gauge. You know what I mean? Like, imagine trying to be gentle with an ant.
Oh, yeah, try to be gentle with an ant, and also try to blame this ant if you put him behind the wheel of a 16-wheeler going down the freeway at, like, max speed, right?
Right.
Oh, it's the ant's fault. It's like, dude, listen, you're putting this guy in harm's way. You expect him to react the most perfect way. Also, they know where he came from. He came from a father, like you said before, he's kind of a little bit of a douchebag. Peed in his cereal constantly.
He was, yeah.
Like metaphorically and probably physically. This is a guy that I would 100% believe when you're looking at your cornflakes and wondering why it kind of smells like, I don't know, asparagus, that you probably should send it back to the kitchen. Like, this guy is no good.
Yeah, and plus huge L, the dad buying their kid cornflakes. Like, come on, we don't have like a little bit of variety here, a little options. Just like Captain Crunch, how about that? You know, get a little roof of your mouth destruction going on. But hey, yeah, either way, it's not exactly clear what was his doing and what wasn't. Also, notice he never got reprimanded for any of these things. You know, the government just kept on taking it back into plea. Yeah, exactly. He gets rewarded for these things. And this is at a time where the government does somewhat have fail-safes, or at least they believe that they have fail-safes to control these people. So it's not like they're just scared of him like they are with Homelander in the modern day. That's not the case here. They kind of do have a leash on Soldier Boy at this time. And remember, he's just following orders.
Another criticism against our client is his abuse of his teammates and his subordinates on his team Payback, right? And if you actually look at all of it, just take it all into consideration. It really just comes down to these guys don't have thick skin. Soldier Boy is a bro. Okay, he's pushing people around. Sure, he's gonna get called into HR. He's like Michael Scott kinda esque. He's not as awkward as Michael Scott, but yeah, he's just kind of rough around the edges and kind of pushes people around. And maybe he's not everyone's cup of tea. But does that mean everyone needs to turn on him, betray him in Nicaragua, and then get him sold to the Russians? Is it really that bad? Like, what really happened to him? It feels like he's just surrounded by a bunch of losers who are jealous that Soldier Boy is in the limelight, and they're constantly I want to be in the limelight. I want to be like with Black Noir. It's like, I want to be in Beverly Hills Cop. I want to be in the limelight. It's like, dude, right. You guys don't want it. You guys don't want that pressure on you. I'm saving you a world of trouble. Just stand back. I will take the arrows. I will be the leader. I will be the face. You don't want this life, you know?
Oh, dude. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Your Honor, did that not bring a tear to your eye just now? I'm welling up over here. Your Honor, you should be able to understand all these other pathetic, sniveling, wannabe judges looking at you just with such disdain. Do you know if the DA went up to them and offered them your job, all you got to do is backstab this guy, Your Honor Vandalay, and you'll get his role. You think they wouldn't take that opportunity and dethrone you? That's exactly what's happening here with Soldier Boy. His teammates, quote-unquote teammates, yeah, Soldier Boy's a little aggressive with them. But you know why? Again, these are a bunch of shitheads who are not trained and will not follow orders properly. They're not following his protocol, and they're also soups. They are used to being like the cream of the crop in their environment. You know, they can just do whatever they want. Like somebody is barking orders at them, a regular human being, guess what? They're not going to listen. But try that shit around Soldier Boy, the soup who's stronger than you, and keep trying it, being persistent. You know what's going to happen? You're going to get your ass beaten, as what should have been happening to these people all along. So Soldier Boy is just doing the right thing, honestly, you know, trying to get us a little bit of coordination going on with these teammates, just a little bit. It's not like he's asking a ton of these guys. It's just like, can we just follow the procedure a little bit? I know maybe I lose my temper sometimes, but look at the situations when there's death, there's murder everywhere. You think I like killing my fellow human beings? I do not, okay? I was trying to impress my dad. I joined the war. Look what they threw me into. You know, I didn't sign up for this, but now he's in it for the long haul, man. Like, what's he supposed to do?
Yeah. I just feel like they're also just big babies about this. These are the people that rat you out when everyone else got hazed for years, and it's all part of the, you know, not coming of age, but it comes with the title of being a hero. You got to go through these little trials and tribulations, and then you come out better. And Gunpowder, it's like, oh, I still fear him as an adult. It's like, dude, stop. Be a man for once in your life, Gunpowder. Okay, just all these people are pathetic. And
oh well, dude, yeah, 100%. I mean, this kind of segues nicely in like the targeted murders, quote unquote, and personal revenge that Soldier Boy is accused of. One of them being his ex-girlfriend, Crimson Countess, who he was personally involved with during these payback years, in love with her, right? And this was a mutual relationship. Soldier Boy then goes through a period where he, quote unquote, dies because, like we were talking about earlier, every single person close to him betrayed him, right? And he ends up not actually dying, but becoming frozen, captured by the Soviets, and then brutally experimented on for decades, right? Like radiation put into his body, burned, shot, like the insides of his body were tortured, the outsides of his body were tortured, similar to like the Homelander stuff when he was a kid, but arguably more brutal. But he's an adult, so, you know, psychologically it's probably not quite as bad. Either way, he gets out of this situation and he goes home and he's like, oh, dude, all I want to do is see Crimson Countess. You know, all these other people betrayed me, but I'm not so sure Crimson Countess did. Like, she was probably just being, you know, blackmailed or forced against her will to participate in this betraying of me. You know what I mean? What's she supposed to do? She can't stand up to all these other soups that are joining up together and betraying me. The government, she can't stand up to the government, right? And he goes to her, and what does she do? She spits in his face, doubles down. I don't know if she really feels that way, if she really didn't like him the whole time, or if, if all these decades she just, got with so many other guys, got ran through, and now she's just like, leaving the past in the past. I don't know what to think of that, but is this really that much of a crime?
I know, and if anything, after you see all of the members of Payback later in life, where they've become or what they've become, where they have finally landed after all these years, I think Soldier Boy should have bullied them a little harder. Maybe have some hard discipline put in their bodies, because they're all losers. Every single one of them. Yeah, Crimson Countess is like running an OnlyFans, I believe, right? Or something like that. Where she's
very similar.
Showing her body off on the internet. It's like, dude, come on. You're a superhero. What the hell are you doing? Come on, you're better than this. And then I don't remember what Mindstorm was doing. He's just like living out in the middle of nowhere. But, TNT, they're running some degenerate hero-gasm, which, in complete honesty, Soldier Boy did invent this thing.
Yeah,
but
right. Is that a crime?
No, well, it's not a crime. But Soldier Boy comes from such a tortured life, where he's, like we said, with his dad, with his constant, like, weird relationship with the government, which is a awful positive feedback loop he's currently in right now. Yeah, of course you go there. But what is TNT doing? Why would you ever start something with your sibling? That's disgusting. Yeah, there's a special place in hell for people like that. And him just destroying or ending the lives of TNT as well as other people within that hero-gasm, I'm all for it. It's his revenge on them. They admit it. They're pathetic. They're losers. Be gone with them. Mindstorm too, right? Do you have any issue with him killing Mindstorm Gator after he reveals the truth about Vought this whole time, that he's actually Homelander's dad and stuff?
No, I don't have any problem with that at all. I see the whole hero-gasm and all of these murders essentially as, one, it is revenge, of course, but it's also Soldier Boy trying to dismantle this broken system that took advantage of him and basically America for decades and decades, close to a century, right? He's slowly dismantling it, and he has to put out a certain face while he's doing it so that things don't get out of hand and he doesn't get as many enemies as humanly possible. Right? Like Homelander can't be his direct enemy right away. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to necessarily make Billy Butcher his main enemy at this time, because Butcher was strong at this moment, right? He was taking the temporary V. He was getting a little amped up. But, I mean, dude, he is dismantling the ultimate system of corruption and oppression in the United States. And now you fast forward to the modern season, the present season of The Boys, where he's kind of working with them again to get revenge on the people who, by the way, The Boys, the main characters in The Boys, these are the people that are supposed to be doing this. And they betrayed, Soldier Boy, who was doing this with them. Of course he's going to try to take revenge on these guys who are basically, false messiahs? I don't know if you could frame it that way, but basically they're false messiahs. It's like Soldier Boy is going to take those people out, and then what's he going to do? He's going to set his beautiful eyes right back on Vought.
Your Honor, excuse me if our client is triggered by people betraying him and has a bloodlust for revenge. Yeah, excuse me. Cast the first stone. Yeah. Anyone that hasn't felt the same way. And, okay, so, he has a hot temper. He goes around, does stuff. Now, does he create collateral damage? And people might consider negligent deaths or killings. Maybe. I don't know. Listen, MM's family that died after Soldier Boy deflected a car into their house. Do you think he was really trying to kill his parents that way? Like, MM needs to get off his high horse. Do you really think Soldier Boy wanted to kill your parents? No, he didn't. He was actually trying to solve or, stop crime. He wasn't going to solve crime, but he was trying to stop crime.
Yeah.
And to think that it's going to be casualty free is just living in some sort of Disney fairyland, guys. Like, there's going to be casualties along the way. Come on.
Think about the perspective that we're getting here, audience. Okay, look. Think of the manipulation that you have been experiencing. Okay, you're a total victim of fake news at this point, just like in so many other situations. MM is a child. He is a child. You know how easily children can be manipulated to basically say whatever in situations like this, whether they be a defendant or a plaintiff. A child can be manipulated to quote unquote remember events completely differently. And even if you see on screen like what looks like an objective portrayal, right, from the MM side, that's just visualizing for us. Like, they're not going to show us a hardcore Henry scene, where it's like from MM's perspective. He looks down, we get to see his little black hands, little black child hands, just so that we're really sure that we're seeing this from his perspective. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to show it from a third-person point of view so we can see the emotions on his face and whatnot, because as a child, he doesn't know what's going on. For all he knows, it was intentional. But again, he's a child. He doesn't know the full story. There were some kids, there were some teens. They were trying to rob a super nice car, and then they tried to run our boy Soldier Boy down with it. And would it have hurt Soldier Boy, the car impact? Difficult to say, right? Probably not. But it's not like...
Has he been hit by a car before?
I've never seen it. And whether or not it would injure him... Yeah, right, that's true. And whether or not it does hurt him, kind of beside the point, right? Like, if somebody gave me like a genetic enhancement today, like I just get shot up, I go for my appointment later tonight, 2 hours. We're recording this right now, so an hour from now, I have an appointment to get a shot that's going to give me bulletproof skin. And then I get mugged later, right? Later the same night, someone takes a gun and aims it at my head and fires. Do I not have a right now to like start pummeling this guy, like just because I know I'm bulletproof, or I guess I suspect that I might? Hey, he didn't know. That's my point.
Exactly. Yeah, he didn't know. He's taking deadly force against you. And we also have Soldier Boy accidentally killing people with his radiation blast, which, some of the soups and people at the Hero Gasm were killed because of that. But also there was a massive, they get killed almost like 20 people in Manhattan when he heard that like Russian song, which just triggered like some trauma of him being tortured. Also, this should just be a PSA announcement. Everyone, put some freaking headphones on. You don't need to be playing your music out loud anywhere you're at. Just put your headphones on. And these people would have been fine. So if anything, this should be on the people playing these awful Russian music, whatever, in Manhattan. So I don't blame him at all. If anything, I really wish I could tap into Soldier Boy's powers whenever I'm around headphone dodgers.
Your Honor, I'd like to advocate for the use of Soldier Boy level force on any demographic that sees it appropriate to, 1, talk on the phone, or 2, listen to music on a Bluetooth speaker in public.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and smash that like button.
Or not. We don't care.